that's very like, hey, yes, I'm so excited to be doing all this stuff. Oh, I love this video game. I love volleyball. And it's really beneficial for us as the dub actors to also have the original Japanese cast to play off of as well. So we can watch the show and like see the scenes and moments, and that also informs a little bit of what does this scene or this moment call for, and then it's just kind of like playing pretend. That's just the job, playing pretend and just feeling out the moment. And it's a lot of fun. I love playing Hinata. He's one of my favorites.
Honestly, he's like one of my favorite MCs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's, it's just, I suppose for me, he just brings something a little bit different to the world than you would catch with your normal MC.
Yeah.
Which is a nice thing, because Haikyuu is I don't know if you play sports or like you played sports when you was younger, or anyone plays like a team sport or whatever it is, the team building, the team bonding, and like he really holds them together without even realizing, and how good he is as well. So do you sort of like share any sort of personality traits and like try and bring that forward when you're actually dubbing the voice as well?
Yeah, so I was never much of an athlete. My brothers were always more the ones playing the sports, and I was in the bleachers playing Game Boy. So I'm definitely more of a Kenma type than a Hinata type in terms of athleticism. But no, I think one of the things that I relate to of Hinata is maybe not so much getting better at sports, but just improving in something that you just love so much.
Yeah.
So like I always loved acting and performing, and I had always been a huge proponent of the idea that like complacency is the death of like creativity. So you're always looking to improve in some way. And I feel like Hinata really encapsulates that as well. Like he does have his natural raw talent, like he can jump really high. He's very chaotic at the very beginning, but there are things that he's weaker at, like receives and different, like playing defensively. There's things that he can identify within himself that's like, okay, I need to work on that. And I've always tried to do that with myself, like things that I'll hear in a performance and I'll be like, okay, cool. Now what can I do to bring that even further? Or like listening back to stuff from years prior and being like, I could have done that so much better now, or something like that. Just constantly looking to improve in some way, similar to him.
So that leads me on to my next question, because there was one scene in Haikyuu that kind of didn't break me per se, but really made me like get invested in the story and emotionally invested with the guys. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a spoiler. If you haven't seen Haikyuu, then shame on you first and foremost.
It's all back on Crunchyroll, dub and sub.
So you need to watch it. But when they first lose the tournament and they're in the restaurant and they're eating and they're literally just tears start falling down their face. Oh,
it's
honestly,
such a heart-wrenching scene.
That's what it is. And if you've done any team sports or any sports in any sort of capacity or anything that you do in life where you really try your hardest but you just miss the mark, or it's just like it hasn't worked out, you would know what that scene means to you, because you would have felt it in certain ways in yourself. Did you struggle to kind of bring up those emotions and those feelings when you was filming that scene, or was it kind of like, oh, I can tap into something that I've been disappointed in before, and able to kind of work like that?
Yeah, no, I can definitely tap into those feelings and those emotions, because like I feel like when I approach a scene or a character that maybe I didn't play volleyball, I didn't play a team sport in that way, I can still identify aspects of the character that relate to me as well. Like I didn't do team sports, but I did something in Texas, which is called One Act Play UIL or some long title or something like that. But the long and short of it was like it was different schools competed to do like competitive theater for some reason, because apparently art needs to be a competition.
Yeah.
And essentially the job of us in those competitions was to cut down full plays into 40 minutes. And we had 40 minutes to perform, I think like 7 to 10 minutes to set up our sets with like modular like things.
Oh, wow.
And so like I could relate to the team sport aspect of it, because our team, our theater team never really went super far in the competition. Our school was always just kind of like okay in the theater department. And so like I could tap back into those moments of like when I was in high school and we didn't win the tournament, we didn't advance to the next stage or something like that, and I could definitely identify those aspects of the team and relate them back to that experience. But even if I didn't have that particular one to rely on, I feel like with any character I come into, I'm just very an empathetic person for characters, and so I try to find that headspace, regardless of if I have like a direct correlation or not.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
Now, sticking on with sports, you also in an anime called Blue Lock.
Yes.
I just want to give a quick little shout out to my friend Drew, because
Yeah, Drew.
I love Drew. He's a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
What was it like? Like, what was your approach like for Blue Lock? Because it's so different to Haikyuu, where obviously one's volleyball and one's football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. It's such a different sport, but it's still the same sport. So what's your approach? Like, was it different to Blue Lock than it was to Haikyuu, or was you able to sort of kind of, it's sports and I can balance the both of them? Because Nagi is such a different character compared to Hinata. It's like, it's day and night in some aspects of it.
Yeah, and Hinata is definitely an example, probably closer to Isagi, who had like a decent like baseline, but had that hunger to get better. And then Nagi, of course, is like the opposite. He's just the lazy genius. He's just effortlessly good at everything he tries. I think that kind of extrapolated into a wider mentality that he kind of carries with him, is the idea of like, well, if I'm not immediately good at something, why would I bother to keep going at it?
Yeah.
And so like those types of character differences, it's really just a matter of what it feels like the story calls for the moment. Again, it's a matter of finding the energy of the moment and matching that with the benefit of the Japanese performance. In terms of finding Nagi's kind of characterization specifically, it was a little bit rougher at the start of it, because with Haikyuu, I had the benefit of I auditioned for Hinata. I had the chance to watch basically the entire first season before my first session.
Nice.
Whereas with Blue Lock, we were working on it as what's called a simuldub, and so we were working on them episode by episode as they were still airing in Japan. So I was able to read a little bit of the manga before going in, but not too much. And so the first time I see Nagi, he's got this very like, he's slouching a lot, he looks a little slower, and they draw his eyes so big that he looks a little bit younger, and you can actually kind of hear it in the series when you first see him. I kind of have him placed a little bit younger sounding, and like after the first couple episodes, I'm like, oh no, he's 6'4", or whatever that is in centimeters. He's really tall. And he's a little bit more like mature, and I was like, okay, I'll kind of bring him back down more to my like normal medium voice. And so that's one of the challenges that you kind of run into working in the simuldub method, is that unless you have all this wider context and this wider research to be able to do, it kind of are finding the character as you work on it within the first few scenes that they're in. Which is why I was so grateful when they did the episode Nagi movie between seasons. We got to revisit some of his introductory moments, and instead of just pulling from the show, they let us re-record those moments so that we could more sort of reintroduce him in the place that we ended up with him as the series went on. But yeah.
Do you find it, like, when you're just sticking onto Haikyuu and Blue Lock at the moment, before I jump onto my favorite anime? Do you find it easier to actually read the manga to have a better understanding of the character, or do you prefer to actually watch the Japanese version first to then be like, oh, okay, I understand the vision that they're trying to go for?
I think honestly, I usually would just watch the sub version of the anime episode before. Starting work on Gachi Yakuta though, like once I started working on that, I was like, I have to read this. The story looked so interesting, the art style was amazing. And that's kind of got me re-interested in work going forward, like maybe just reading the manga, because like I fell in love with reading it again. I used to read manga more when I was like a preteen, but once anime became more accessible, I was like, I want to watch the cartoons, the animated, they move and they're in color. But there's definitely, manga's a different experience, so I think going forward I will likely be reading the mangas as well.
Yeah, because also, I don't know if you find this as well, but when you have the manga and you're reading it, you don't have someone else's interpretation of what it could be or what it should be like, whereas you're reading it, so it's like, oh, I know what I'm going to do, and not pick off what someone else has possibly done anyway.
Yeah. And even whenever I do preview the Japanese or watch the sub first, it's not even so much that I'm trying to like copy what they're doing, more so as it's just like an extra tool to help give me the context and idea of the energy. But like you said, reading the manga, like when I was reading this, I was reading through it and I was thinking, okay, how am I gonna tackle this moment? How is this gonna be done in the animation. Are they going to let me get away with doing something like this with it? And that was really a very unique experience I hadn't had in a while. So that's part of the reason I kind of like, oh yeah, I think I'll just start reading these now.
It makes it easier.
Yeah.
So, Blue Lock out the way, Haikyuu out the way,
Yeah.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Woo. Very controversial ending. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay.
A lot of people.
Why?
The second part, because they brought out a second part of the ending. If you saw it, where everyone's seen Attack on Titan, right? Before I say anything, no. Okay, cool. I'm gonna spoil it for you guys. No, I'm not. But the second part of they brought out like another sort of ending to Attack on Titan, where it was all like a hey, cinema sort of thing. So, and people took really didn't like it. But what I want to know is, what was the most sort of challenging aspect that you had, that you faced when voicing Falco when he was doing his transformation?
Honestly, I feel like Falco throughout the series, like from when he's introduced and all the way to the end of the show, he feels like he personally doesn't feel like he changes too much. I feel like he, especially among all the types of characters in that show,
oh yeah,
he's very consistently like open-minded. He's open to hearing different perspectives. If you're talking about more like the transformation.
Yeah, the transformation, as in like when he transformed.
Yeah. I think that was a very rough moment because when it first happens, you have that moment where him and Colt are like holding on to each other. It's just such an emotional moment, and it was hard to get through a take of that scene without like tearing up a little bit. It's just such a heartfelt moment, and what really gets me watching it back and the whole scene is just Zeke's response to being just like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm trying to be vague as possible, but watch it. It's a beautiful moment. And then in terms of just like doing a lot of the monster noises for certain things, that was actually a lot of just fun to do because we got to just do like beastly noises and we layered a few things in there to give some nods to like what the theming of his
transformation was. Yeah. Falco is a very interesting character in regards to his duo that he's got, which I'm not going to say no names if people haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But they're like night and day. It kind of reminds me of like Eren and Mikasa.
Exactly.
It's like they're complementary to each other. Did you expect Falco's story to go the way it did, or did you kind of hope that there was another sort of way his story would have kind of ended, or kind of they would have gone a different route for it?
I think it's hard for me to have like, I guess, theory crafted in my head, like a different direction, because it was so fast when we started working on it. And what was it? Kellen Goff, who plays Porco, the Jaw Titan, kind of spoiled some of the Falco stuff, like before, which I don't mind. I'm very much a proponent of presentation over anything. So even if I know what's going to happen, like for me, it's about the experience of like how it's presented. But I don't know. I feel like to me, his story follows an arc that I feel is very natural for him. I think that where he ended up is honestly exactly where I probably would have put him.
It made sense for where the story was going. And the way it sort of finished off and the way it portrayed, which was really, really good for him. But so when it comes to obviously doing like Nagi, Shoyo, and Falco, is there like a preference that you enjoy? Like, do you enjoy the more intense sort of dramatic like Falco, or do you cool Mr. Charisma kind of Nagi, or the energetic, like a Jack in the Box, like a little energetic bunny with Hinata? You prefer doing more?
I think I like them all for different reasons. Like, I feel like the drama really gets to scratch that itch of like, I'm doing serious acting and I'm making people cry, and that's fun. As an actor, you have a little bit of an excitement knowing that like you've made the entire audience cry. I do find it probably easiest to tackle some of the more higher energy characters though, like Hinata and Belle from Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon, just because that's where like I got a lot of my start. Those were like some of my first few roles, and I feel like that's the style of character I'm most well practiced in. But like, I don't know. I love being able to just like chew those really dramatic moments as well. I don't know. It's for different reasons, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess the high energy feels like home, and it's like I'm just playing and I can do whatever I want. And if they don't want that, we can do another take. But generally, we get to have a lot more freedom with those types of characters to just have fun with it. The cool, the cool laid back characters like Nagi, for example, they can be a little bit of a challenge for me actually, because you have to toe that line or find the line between, yeah, I'm just kind of lazy and I'm not really saying too much, but you don't want it to sound monotone so that you're just kind of like at one level the whole time. You want to find those little subtle things you can do to give them maybe a little bit of interest, but like change your emphasis so that the audience isn't bored the whole time just hearing you talk at one level for the entire time. And could you imagine if like the entire panel I just talked like this the whole time?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
unexpressive. Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask a cheeky question.
Yeah.
Do you know what else happens in Haikyuu? Like, are you able to be like, yeah, I know what happens, I know where the story goes, sort of thing? Because I've got my like sort of
Personal theories.
yeah of what happens in Haikyuu. So I've watched the movies like, and they were phenomenal. The recent movie that they've done, where they've done the scene when it was like from their point of view.
Yeah, that's my favorite shot in the whole.
The whole POV thing was immense. It was so good. Like I was in the cinema and I was like, oh, what is going? What?
That movie, and sorry to tangent.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That movie has some of the best animation I've seen in a long time, with like
100%.
the camera choreography that they do with the
Yeah.
3D camera. But, and this is what I love about Haikyuu, they never do the thing that a lot of anime do, and I'm not going to call out any names. A lot of anime like to, on the long shot, switch out to like CGI character models and stuff like that. And it's a budget saving measure. I can't blame them for that. That's what they got to do sometimes. But Haikyuu never resorts to that. It's entirely always 2D animated, no matter how 3D the camera is moving around. And like that sequence where it's just entirely, not to spoil, but there is a sequence in the movie, the dumpster battle, that there is an entire like 3 to 4 minute volley back and forth, entirely first person view, 3D camera. You see their entire motions for the entire back and forth until the score happens. And like the ball's 2D, the characters are all 2D moving in this 3D space. It's so good.
And you can hear sort of like the squeaks of the trainers when they're on the floor, and you're like, oh, this is like, it was genuinely one of my favorite scenes throughout the whole of the actual anime itself.
Yeah.
Sorry
to tangent, but what was your question?
No, that was literally like, what was it like filming that? Like, did you enjoy filming that? And also, do you enjoy filming the movies more than you do the series? Because I asked this question the other day, and I want to get your opinion on it. Because filming the movies and doing the movies is a lot more different than it is to doing the series. But again, the Haikyuu movie is kind of like a continuation. It's a continuation of the series itself, anyway. So, what do you prefer actually doing?
So actually, interestingly enough, we did the series at a different studio than we did the movie, actually.
Oh, wow.
So we did the series at a studio called Sentai in Houston, and when the movie came around, I guess Crunchyroll decided to pick up the rights for the movie.
Yeah.
And so we dubbed the movie at the Crunchyroll studios in Dallas. And those studios handle dubbing very differently. And similarly to the question about like the different role types, I think there's aspects of both that I enjoy for different reasons. I loved when working on the series just how much there was to work on, because when you're working on a series, you just have days and days of recording with these characters, and you get to have that hyper, like all those highs and all those lows spread out throughout an entire series. With the movie, it's a lot more condensed.
Yes.
But it's also a lot more focused, and I also kind of like that focus that we get to have with the individual smaller moments. Because when you're working on a series, you have so much that you need to tackle and only so much time to do it. So you feel like, okay, we're working on this scene, but we've got to move on because we've got like 20-something more episodes to do or something like that. So I think one of the things I do like working on the movie as opposed to the series is that we do get more time to chew on those individual moments that are really impactful, you know?
Yeah, I mean, also along with the movies, with the series as well, you're able to sort of spread the story a lot more.
Yeah.
Rather than having it done in sort of like an hour and a
40
half.
minutes.
Yeah. So you kind of like tease a lot more, and you can run like the the scores of the game, and you can leave little cliffhangers, because there were certain times when I thought they were gonna lose in certain things, and the episode finished. I was like, you can't do this to me right now. Flip a table kind of moment. Like, what's going on here? But
I gotta get out of this pickle.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how do we? Why are we stopping it here? I need more of this. Like, why are we stopping it? Wait another week. Okay, Crunchyroll crashes because everyone wants to watch it. Okay, now I've got to wait 6 more hours to watch it. Next one I know is 1 a.m. in the morning, and I'm still going, okay, this is great. But you do play another character in one of my other favorite series, actually.
Oh yeah?
So
all your favorite series.
Yeah, literally. This is why I wanted to speak to you today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because you do a lot of the stuff that I really, really enjoy. So I'm a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if we've got any Yu-Gi-Oh fans in the crowd. I can see you pointing at me. Yeah, I see you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So you was in Yu-Gi-Oh 7s.
Yes.
Did you So obviously I stop at GX for me personally, because GX is where I was like, oh, okay, great. This is like my.
That's where a lot of people, kind of our generation, fell off of it. Yeah.
So did you have to end up watching sort of the old stuff, or did you watch Yu-Gi-Oh growing up? Like, did you watch Yu-Gi-Oh in regards to it and be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, it's similar to this, but you know, now you got to sort of like synchro summon or whatever, pendulum or whatever that they do nowadays and all this stuff. So what was that process like?
Yeah, so I did grow up watching the show. I think I kind of stopped around GX as well. I didn't quite get in. 5Ds was starting to come out right as I was like entering high school.
Yeah.
So I was already kind of like out of that world at that point. But one of the things about my particular series, the Sevens show, is they were kind of doing like a little bit of a rules reset, because Sevens and its current season. The current Yu-Gi-Oh series, Go Rush, is like a sequel to Sevens, and they do an entirely new format of the game where it's called Rush Duels, and they brought it back to simple. It's just normal monsters, effect monsters, and fusions. There's no links, there's no pendulums, and all that stuff that I personally never learned, and I never had to.
That's it.
So they changed a few of the rules here and there to speed the game up, hence the name Rush Duels. But generally, it was mostly familiar stuff for me. Like, I knew what attack mode and defense mode was. I knew how fusions worked and all of that different stuff, and it was fun to. I remember the way that they dub Yu-Gi-Oh remotely, because they're based in New York and I'm in Texas, so I have to record entirely remotely for that show from my home studio. They'll give me the script and the video ahead of time to kind of prep and see what they'll be needing. And I remember prepping my first script for the first episode, and like in that first episode, he's got his duel, and he's going up against a character called Otis, who uses the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And like my first duel is me just using my, not Dark Magician, but my Dark Magician like equivalent, my Ace Monster, Sevens Road Magician. And I just remember watching the duel and I'm being like, I'm in Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm dueling on a cartoon. It was, I was like, when I got cast in that in the first place, the fact that it was remote, I was worried that like, I probably wasn't going to get cast because I wasn't in New York. Like, they were doing remote at the time because it was the pandemic and everything. So even the New York actors had to do remote. But I was like, how long are they going to keep this up? Are they going to want them to eventually go in studio for this? Are they really going to cast that wide of a net? And then eventually getting actually cast as the lead, I was like mind blown. And like, I was like just pacing around my apartment super anxiously. And then I had to tell my wife, and I was like, I got it. And it's just one of those like full circle moments, because like I said, I grew up watching the show, and to get to be a part of something that you grew up with, like it's hard to describe just like how it feels.
Did you feel any sort of pressure in regards to it? Because knowing how big Yu-Gi-Oh is and was and the original series, did you feel sort of like, oh no, I need to back this out the park and make sure that it's just as good as the very first season?
For sure. Especially with that added anxiety, like I mentioned, I was like, oh, they had like 3 different callback rounds, and then even when they cast us, they said that we would do like 2 test episodes, and then it'll go to the producers, and then they'll approve the cast after that. So for the first like month of working on it, I still wasn't even sure if I was going to be the final choice. And so there was definitely that pressure of like, okay, now I have to make a really good impression. And my director, Darren Dunstan, was the original Pegasus from the original show.
Oh, nice.
And it was cool to just be able to work with somebody I grew up watching and hearing in my ears with the animation. But also there was that nervousness of like, oh gosh, I don't want to waste their time with like bad takes and all that stuff. So there's definitely, even after having done this for such a long time, there's always still that pressure when you're working with a new studio or a new director to be like, oh, I gotta bring my A game, otherwise they're gonna recast me with somebody else like that. So yeah.
So we've answered all the questions from Yu-Gi-Oh to Blue Lock to Haikyuu, Attack on Titan. What's your most like fondest memory of a character that you've voiced, or do you have a fondest memory of anyone that you've voiced, or like your favorite scene that you've voiced over?
I think my fondest memory is honestly doing my first audition for a lead role. So it wasn't even like in the episode itself. It was auditioning for Belle from Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon? Because that was my first time going into the studio to audition for the main character, and I feel like where Belle is in the story in that first season is exactly where I was when I was auditioning for him. Like, I had been doing a few like smaller supporting roles for about a year and a half at that point.
Yep.
And I knew I could do the job, but I was still like that sort of learning as you go, still improving and finding ways to get better. And that's where he is at the start of the show. I don't know if you've seen it at all, but he's a rookie adventurer at the start of the show, and he's going into the dungeon and trying to support himself and this goddess that he lives with. And he's confident and competent enough that he can go in and do the job, but he's still learning and getting stronger. And I feel like that's exactly like, I don't think, and it's crazy that this was my first audition for my first lead role, but I don't think I've ever felt as much this is me as when I was auditioning for that role. And when I did the audition, I was driving back home. I lived about an hour away from the studio, and they called me before I even got home to be like, you got it. And I was,
oh wow,
I had to pull over because they were like, I was like, hey, I'm not there yet. Let me just pull over and get some gas so we could like figure out scheduling and stuff. But basically, the production assistant that called me, they were like, so just don't get into a crash or anything, but you got it.
Yeah, we need you. We need
So, like,
you right now.
I think that's probably one of my fondest memories of just working in this industry at all, and like just that moment of being able to relate so heavily to a character right off the bat. And I feel like I've had bits and spurts of that, obviously, with characters as I've been doing this for 11 years now.
Yeah.
But I think that probably stands out the most to me as like, that was like pivotal for me, I think.
Sometimes life intimidates art, and you're in that presence, and something calls to you, and it's just yours, and you just know it, and it fits so well. So well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so I've asked all my questions. I'm pretty sure these are chomping at the bit to ask you some questions, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, wait, yes or no? Are we?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Can we do that again, please? Are you guys ready to ask some questions? Yeah. Yes. Thank you. What? You guys know me already. It's 2 days we've been together, and it's still the same low energy. Why are we doing? You're embarrassing me in front of others. Yeah.
They're great. They're great.
No,
Thank you.
No, so Leroy's gonna go around with a mic. Gonna ask some questions, and put your hand up, just a name and a question, and he'll get to you as soon as he can.
Hello, my name is Kat. I have an Attack on Titan question for you.
Sure.
What is your favorite out of the 7 Titans and why?
Oh, I am a little bit biased. I really do think that mine is the coolest looking one. I really love the Armor Titan, and I love Porco's Jaw Titan as well. I think those are probably my top 3 and I actually kind of like Falco's first form a little bit better than the full form from the final. I'm trying still not to spoil too much for people who haven't seen like the very end. I kind of like it the first time he transforms and he's like going up against Flock, and that I like that form so much. I just love the design of like Jaw and everything like that. So again, I'm very biased, but I just think it's such a cool, because I like to draw every now and then. I just love the shape language of the face, and like just, it's so cool. Aaron's probably a close 4th as well. I really like Aaron's final form at the very end, like just that overwhelming look that he just looks so crazy cool. But yeah, that's probably like, I guess I just listed like my top 4.
Yeah, no,
but, yeah.
Very, very menacing. Aaron's final form is like, it's just super scary.
Yeah,
in a way, if you see that, you're like, I'm not gonna make it out of this one.
He's the protagonist.
He's the good guy.
Scary. I will say probably my least favorite. I'm sorry, but Emir's Draw is probably my least favorite.
Yeah.
I just, this is weird to me.
Definitely. Yeah.
Hey Bryson, this is Alfie, and it's his birthday today.
Hello, happy birthday.
Birthday.
Oh, a few weeks ago. Let's pretend it's today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I met you early by the...
Yeah. Good to see you again.
Yeah, what's your favorite like video game, like indie games like Hollow Knight or Deltarune?
Oh yeah, no, I love indie games. Actually, thank you for that question. I'm a big gamer. You mentioned Hollow Knight. I really loved Hollow Knight Silk Song. That's probably my favorite game from last year is Hollow Knight Silk Song. I'm really big into the Souls games, so like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring. I love FromSoft. I just played Armored Core 6. That was really fun. I'll just go through some of my favorites from the last 2 years. So last year, favorite was Hollow Knight Silk Song. The year before that, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but there's a game called Nine Souls. And it was slept on. The Video Game Awards did not even acknowledge its existence, but if you like Hollow Knight and you like Sekiro, it's literally the brainchild of Hollow Knight crossed with Sekiro. And it's beautiful art. It's a 2D animated game with like, it's like a futuristic kind of furry world with like Taoist lore. It's really, really good. Play Nine Souls. The Souls is S-O-L-S. And then the year before that, Lies of P, probably my favorite from 2023.
Yep.
I loved Souls games.
So, Elden Ring's gonna be up there as well, right?
Elden Ring, definitely.
Elden Ring.
2022 favorite game.
I've raged so much, just.
I have just infinite patience for those things.
Do you?
Like, I'll pop on YouTube on a second monitor and just throw my head at that brick wall for literally. I get frustrated after maybe like hour 4 or 5 on a boss, but like I can sit there forever and just like veg out and just like, all right, here we go.
What I'm saying is screw Melania. Yeah, because she.
Oh yeah, she was terrible.
She caused me trauma to this day. Trauma to this day.
Yeah. Thank you for your question.
Hi, my name is Brody, and I would like to ask what your favorite goal from Blue Lock is and why.
I'm sorry, what was that?
What's your favorite goal from Blue Lock and why?
Oh, my favorite goal from Blue Lock. I really liked, honestly, the U20 match with Nagi where he did the can't remember the proper term for it, when he does the twisty something or other.
Around the world. He twirls around the world.
Oh, what was it called? I think you had named it earlier, right? Or did somebody else?
And I'm pretty sure it was like heel tap left into a jumping turn.
That's what it was. Yeah, into a jumping turn. Yeah, that's probably my favorite moment for Nagi, his score. I also, from a comedic side, there is a goal in their match against Team Z in the first season where it just felt like a fighting game where they keep almost getting the goal. And in the movie, it was presented, in the episode 9 movie, it was presented very much like a fighting game where it's almost going in. And my favorite moment is when Gagamaru was like, "It's not over!" And he like comes in. It just sounds like a fighting game, like special move came up in the middle of the. That's probably my favorite moment in the movie and then season 1. It's hilarious.
There was some crazy goals in that, and there's some crazy plays in Blue Lock. Blue Lock is just.
Ooh, actually, I really also love Reen's final moment in season 2.
Season 2 with the tongue sticking out.
When his tongue was going monster mode, it's crazy.
That fight with his brother was top notch.
Yeah. Thank you, Brody.
We have someone else who's celebrating a birthday. I hope you're celebrating a birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Hi, my name's Caitlin.
Hi.
You have such an iconic, recognizable voice.
Thank you.
But there are like distinct differences between each of your characters. And I was wondering if there was a phrase or a word, something maybe you say or something someone else says that helps you get into each of those distinct characters.
I think for certain characters, it is a little bit just kind of feels like putting on a glove. I can just go into it out of nowhere. Like Hinata's for example, I've just played him for such a long time. Excuse me, I keep hiccuping. But he's been with me for such a long time. I can easily just slip into him easily without any preamble or anything like that. As for other characters where it feels a little bit more outside of my typical range, I don't really necessarily have specific lines that I go to. More so, I have just kind of like little like vocal warm-up things that I'll do to kind of get me in that space. Actually, you know what? I do have one for Japard from Honkai. Literally, I literally just, because he's a real low part of my voice, and I kind of lose that part of my voice as I talk throughout the day. So I have to record him in the morning for the first part. And literally, my go-to line to get into the voice for him is going, "My name is Japard Landau of Silvermane Guards." And he's just kind of down there, and he just sits there. And it just kind of helps me find the part of my voice to where he sits. And it probably doesn't even sound proper right now because I've been talking all day, but like that's generally what I go to is I'll just say his name and I'm like, it gives me some air of that feeling. For Rudo, actually, he has got like a little bit of a texture to him that I like to incorporate because he's in this dirty, grimy, grungy world where obviously a little bit of that dirt's getting into your throat, you're inhaling it, and it kind of gives you that scratchy sort of vibe to it. If I find myself losing that in the middle of a session, I'll just kind of go away from the microphone and I'll just be kind of to myself, kind of going, just like little hums to myself to try and find like that vocal fry, that like it just kind of gives that raspy, kind of grungy grit to it. But yeah, it really just depends from character to character. If there's like a certain thing that I do with their voice, I'll try to find ways to just like either warm up into it or find like with Japar, just like I'll just say this thing and then I'm there. You know what I mean? But I can't think of any specifics other than that.
Oh, it was a great answer, to be fair.
Yeah,
it's literally a great answer. Yep.
I try to be thorough, but I can ramble a little bit too. I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. They don't mind.
Hi, I'm Faith. What's your favorite thing about Hinata or just like Haikyuu in general?
What I love about Hinata is that drive that he has to get better. He never feels like he's ever complacent in his skills. He's always trying to get better. Honestly, kind of similar to Blue Lock in that he's got that hunger to get better. But what I love about Haikyuu specifically and Hinata is that like that hunger doesn't have to come at the expense of all your teammates. You can build each other up and help each other attain those goals as well. I love Blue Lock and I love how intense it is, but I feel like my general philosophy is a little bit more in line with something like Haikyuu, where it is like you can be the best, but you can also like bring others up with you, if that makes sense.
That's the Haikyuu is very team orientated. Like the team wins, you win. Whereas Blue Lock, everyone has to be kind of selfish and learn to then be a part of a team, but also keep that mind frame of I'm still
It's very aggressive and very competitive in a way that I've honestly never been. I feel like part of the reason I never really stuck with sports is because, like, to me, it's still just a game at the end of the day. And, like, if you ask anybody who does sports, like, as a professional or got really into team sports in high school or even solo sports, they have just this competitive mindset that, like, I think Blue Lock really resonates with. But as somebody who has always been more of like a non-confrontational, very much I'm just here for fun type, I kind of like the vibe of Haikyuu, where it's just kind of like, yeah, we're here to be the best volleyball player we ever can be, but not at the expense of the relationships with the people that we care about.
Power of friendship is always the way forward.
Got one here?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Claire. If you had to have a Freaky Friday body swap with any one of the characters for 24 hours, who would it be and why?
Ooh, a Freaky Friday body swap with one of my characters. I'm trying to think. It would be, honestly, it's kind of a cop-out. I would honestly kind of like to switch with Nagi, just because I want to know what it's like to just be effortlessly, like, as lazy as he is, but still be, like, somehow ripped and, like, just have all that potential energy within you and just not use it. But, like, I would then go ahead and use it because I'm like, I want to see what it feels like to run as fast as he can run or something like that. Like, what's it feel like to actually be athletically skilled without having to try for it?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew as well.
And then also I can just play some video games. Yeah.
Hi, my name's Thomas. I was just wondering, do you have a favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card and why?
Do I have a favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card? Let me think. I remember growing up, I always thought the Red Eyes Black Dragon always looked like the coolest. I thought it looked way cooler than the Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's just so cool. Yeah. I know. I love that one. Joey was probably my favorite character from the original show too, because he was. When I was a kid, I liked the funny characters, and he was always the funny one.
Joey is most probably the best duelist in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, and I like that he grows too. Like he doesn't just stay in that. He grows and learns alongside as the show goes on.
And he's got no magical powers or no money.
Exactly.
He is the best duelist there is.
Exactly. He don't need either of those things.
We've got time for one last question. It's coming from here.
Yep. Sure.
Hi, I'm Naib. I know earlier you said about the Armor Titan being one of the favorites. Gonna try and save it spoiler free. Would you prefer if Falco went down the original transformation route or inherited the armor like he was supposed to?
I don't know how his armor would look, actually. I actually never thought about that, actually. Because I know that's what he was trying to get in line to do to protect Gabi from having to go and do that, because I know that was like his whole goal was to keep her from doing it. No, I actually never thought about that. That would be such an interesting way to have developed, and I don't know how they would have handled that, honestly. Yeah. I do like how it ended up being told, but I'm not sure. I'm not a writer, so I don't know. I don't know how it would go in that way. I would be interested to see like what a Falco armor would look like. That's what all the fan artists out there can do for me, so that way I can be like, hey, that looks really neat. But no, that's an interesting question. I never thought about it. I'll have to think about it going forward, because now I'm like, wait, what could they have changed, or like how would that have developed further? But yeah, that's an interesting question. Thank you. A lot to think about.
It will be very interesting to see what it would be like. Is it going to be short, medium, really, really tall? Like, is it going to be Is it going to be muscly? Is it going to be kind of like? I don't know. It's an interesting one to. Don't wake up tonight and be like, that's it. It's going to be this.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night for some random reason.
I feel like his jaw is on the smaller side too, but I think that's just because the jaw is inherently smaller. Yeah. A smaller Titan, but no, yeah. No, that's interesting. Now I have to think about that.
See, questions have been good again. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys, shucks. You guys make me so proud.
Shucks.
Yeah. No, but thank you very much. You've been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much as well, guys. Round of applause, please. Did we like the energy of that one?
What was that?
Did we like the energy of that? Or
maybe we can do a little bit more.
Yeah, come on, a bit more. Round of applause, please. Yes, there we go.
Thank you.
All right, before you all run away, because I know you guys like to quickly sprint off somewhere for some.